boss, bitch, you know, for sure. You're not listening to the Mind of an Terry's Moon. I'm the Archangel Uriel, and I'm here to carry out God duties and motherfucking responsibilities. And right now, we gonna get into your X is your motherfucking hex. Goddamn, let me take a hit on that motherfucker. I got to take a hit on that motherfucker. Your motherfucking X is your motherfucking hex. That's the motherfucking reason it's even sound the same. Got the same frequency vibration. X, goddamn it. Well, I'm gonna tell you right now. Your motherfucking X name need to be on a motherfucking wall somewhere, or if you in school right now, on the bathroom wall, on the stores and shit like that, they name need to have a big ass motherfucking X in front of that goddamn shit. Cause I'm gonna tell you, motherfucker, we throwing hexes on a day-to-day basis. Now you may have some beings here that's into it a lot more than others, so their hex is a lot more powerful based upon the energy work that they put into that shit. But for the most part, we doing this on a day-to-day basis. So I'm going to break this motherfucking shit down. Now, before we even get into X, or your X's, we got to know what the fucking hex is for the most part. So what is a hex? Let's break this shit down. Now, this theme is based upon your X. So, reason why is because throughout this video, I'm going to explain how your X's got first dibs on your hex. They always got first dibs on your hex. They always got first dibs on activating your hex. Your curse. So for the most part, that's what this video is going to be about. But I'm going to break down hex first so you can understand that hex can play out through many different realms of realities. Through your friends, associates, your family, you know what I'm saying, in all kind of ways. Now, for the most part, let me put this motherfucker shit out. Now, what is a hex? A hex is when you got outside forces or influences working against you in some way, shape, or form. And that can go through many different multitudes. Through the people, places, and things that you know, and even higher spiritual natures and concepts and ideas and spirits that like to jump in those thought forms and play out and create scenarios in your life in order for them to experience. So you need to keep that in mind also. So a hex is any time you got outside influences working against you. Now, where does a hex come from? How does it get manifested? How does it gain traction? How does it get power to have the power to create scenarios in your life for you to experience bad scenarios? Now let's break that down. Now, this is why I say it has to be backed and supported by one of your relationships. Now a hex get manifested from a relationship that have gone bad. Something that have happened that the bridges have burnt. And there's nothing that can be built in between. There's no coming back. You know what I'm saying? There's no bygones. Or there's no turning the other cheek. There's no let bygones be bygones. So when you in a situation with an associate, a friend, someone you don't know, whatever like that, and then y'all have an experience, a catastrophic experience with each other, that's the beginning stages of a hex. So keep that in mind. That's the beginning stages of a hex. Now, reason why it's backed and supported by your relationship, because see, outside influences are worked against you, but the outside influences has to know what to work with. So they get that information from the person you was in a relationship with, whether it's an associate, friend, your partner, or whatever. And here's why. Because the person you are in a relationship with know your ins and outs. They know your ins and outs. They know when you go to work. They know when you don't go to work. They know the same people you know. They know things how you feel. They know how you see things. They know things that the average Joe that you come across on a day-to-day basis don't know, basically. So you can be put in a vulnerable space when you're separated from this person in some way, shape, or form in a bad way. So that's the beginning of a hex. Now here's how the hex gains traction. Here's how it gains power. Once that relationship ends bad, this person takes the things that they know about you and put it in a bad light. Now, what is putting it in a bad light? When a person has negative ideas or negative feelings and emotions about the things you do or who you are. So 9 times out of 10, that's what occurs when things go bad. A business deal go bad, or a relationship go bad, or a friendship go bad, or a relationship go bad. You start to develop. Now, you know certain things about this person that other people commonly don't know. And then you got you put negative light on it, because now the thoughts and ideas that you got about these things and the feelings and emotions you have about these things is now in a negative light. Otherwise, there wouldn't have been no reason for you to separate from that person in the first place, or have a disagreement or argument with that person in the first place. So now the hex is starting to gain power. Now you got outside influences working against you. The stuff that you do in your day-to-day life that's natural and repetition and regular for you on your day-to-day basis is now being used against you. Because now you have an outside entity, an outside influence, quote unquote, your ex. Now is able to take those things and formulate and shape those things in a bad realm of reality. Now, the moment that this person starts to express these things to other people, it gains even more power. Because here's the thing. Everything still exists. So say this person got bad feelings and emotions and thoughts about the shit you do because they explaining to their best friends on the phone and shit why y'all broke up in the first place. So for the most part, now another entity, another person is able to have their own ideas and feelings and emotions about your circumstance, right? And you don't even have no influence or impact to change their mind because this is the person who's throwing a hex on you, friend. You see what I'm saying? So for the most part now, this person got their own opinion and ideas about you. And guess what? It's formulated and constructed based upon the person who's throwing the hex. So now you got more bad light shed on you. And you got someone else's energy. And based upon all the ideas and feelings and emotions that they already have to themselves, added on to that. So now that cloud, it's like a cloud now. It's like a dark cloud. Here's where you get the concept of, man, I feel like I got a dark cloud around me or something like that. Because you're probably going through this right now. You're probably going through this in the spiritual realm right now. So that dark cloud that's being formulated and being added onto, it's like air and water. Air is communication. So the person that you was in a relationship with is communicating their thoughts and feelings. And then the water is when it keep getting added on, it becomes dense. So now it's a cloud or dark cloud that's getting ready to form and rain down on you. Now that dark cloud creates imaginations and constructions and imaginations. So the only way it can hit you is when you got this person on your mind. Once you have this person on your mind, that cloud, boom, could come in front of you and start to shape and form scenarios and situations in your life that'll play out through the people, places, and things that you know that ain't got nothing to do with this person. But it is still formulate in a scenario of that dark cloud. And that dark cloud got all the light information of what this person hexed and thrown on you. You see what I'm saying? So the hex go deep. Now, this is just a relationship, but say you're beefing with somebody. If you're beefing with somebody, right, then you have now in that kind of hex, you have already put yourself in a circumstance where you can't even put yourself in a situation where you cannot think about this person. So you're thinking about their moves because on your mind, you got ideas that this person is out to get you, so you start to formulate ideas on how you can get them first and shit. So y'all motherfuckers is just in a constant war and battle, throwing hexes on each other. So you just gotta handle that and formulate either one of y'all dissipate each other or destroy each other in this realm of reality in some shape and form, whether from a light way, whether it's the concept and idea and you rule authority over that person in that way, or you destroy them physically. But you're going to have to destroy him in some way, shape, or form in order for that energy to kind of die down just in this realm of reality. And y'all can ping-pong it all the way into a fade, but ping-pong it in a light way. But if you ping-pong it in a heavy way, you're going to have to just handle that. But as far as just your relationships and shit like that, I'm going to tell y'all how to get out of this motherfucker hex. Because, see, this is why it's important to be in a relationship, but always do what's right. So even if you cheating, let your partner know. You see what I'm saying? Don't go on and dive into dark natures. Now, dark natures is doing things that can't be seen, but it's things that's being done. So you're creating dark energies. You see what I'm saying? So that could go into realms of realities of sneakiness, being secret about certain things and things of that nature. And the more that energy manifests, it's going to become a light. You know what I'm saying? The masculine comes from the feminine. So once you keep adding so much energy and spirit into that space, something's going to get manifested and something's going to be seen. And if it's a large amount of energy you've been doing for a long time, that light that masculine light first sun that get created from that going to be real big. And it may even be catastrophic to the point it destroy the whole relationship, the whole boat, the whole land that was built with you two. So you don't want to go that far with the dark realm and adding too much dark aspect. You always want to bring light to whatever you're actually doing in some way, shape, and form. You know what I'm saying? But when we talking about the hex, see, when you're not doing that and it do play out like that, that's how relationships end bad. You know, now when we're talking about, now if you was the person and the main reason and cause that the relationship ended, then you 9 times out of 10 you're going to be the person with the hex thrown on you, because you the one that caused all this emotional arousement and thought processes that this person going to have in the first place. So that's what started the hex. Now this is why it's important to have relationships, or if you do have an ex, y'all ended on a clean slate. Like y'all got through everything. Y'all talked about it and it's clear. Therefore, you guys are in different relationships, or you guys not even thinking about every time you think about each other, it's not in that bad light. It's not in that cloud. It's in the light of, yeah, that was a person I learned a lot from and now I moved on. If it's a scenario that every time you go to a mind state or feeling an emotion about your ex and it's a negative one, y'all throwing hexes on each other. So you need to know that. Now, if you a person, you in another relationship and you don't even care about that person, or you just throw little hexes, then your hexes is not going to manifest as much as the person who's really hurt or whatever like that. So this is what you need to understand. Make sure you're not the one that automatically created you to have a hex in the first place. Because if you created a catastrophic situation for y'all to break up, then it's your responsibility to make things right also. You see what I'm saying? Even if you don't have to get back together, it's just your responsibility to make things better for the person that do become your ex. Don't be in no emotional distress that you end up having the hex become more powerful. Because the more and more this person gonna know, and the more and more, like for an example, this person may even get into a relationship that the next relationship that your ex got into, the whole reason that they got into that relationship was constructed and manifested off finding someone to do them better than you did them. So they even got the person that they in a relationship now doing things or playing roles that you didn't do. So that their whole new relationship is constructed of something you did. That's an even stronger hex. If you get what I'm saying. That's an even, so you don't even want that kind of scenario. You don't want the person being in a new relationship and the reason they in a new relationship, every time they explain it to somebody, it's because of you. You know what I'm saying? That's even more powerful, because so many other people are going to have their thoughts and ideas of you in that dark cloud that you just going to manifest all kind of bad relationships for yourself, manifest all kind of negative situations. Things ain't going to be right for your relationships and your circumstances and situations. So the hex go deep. So let's talk about how to break a hex, how to get the fuck out of that shit. Now, for the most part, if you're a person who did somebody wrong and it's already too late or things of that nature, this is how you can break the hex. Or if you just got a minor hex on you in general, because even though the relationship ended not so bad, depending on the relationship ended in general and the feelings and emotions that you guys split apart from each other but still hold from each other, still creates small forms of hexes. And how you know that is when you're in a relationship now, you're still carrying old traits. Like for an example, females, y'all know what I'm talking about. Y'all don't fully open yourselves to the new guy because you see certain examples that this dude may do that your ex may have done. So you let old past relationships affect your new relationship. And for my guys, y'all know what I'm talking about. A girl may have did you a certain way, so now you just feel like, man, I'm about to just fuck everything. And then you come across a girl that's showing you that she really down, and then you got in your mind like, nah, I'm gonna fuck her. But she's talking to me like she's really going to be down, so I'm going to really be down with her. But then you end up slipping up fucking again because you always got this in the back of your mind like, nah, but she just like everybody else. So I don't even want to give her the chance. And then you end up missing on somebody's good. You end up missing out on somebody good that may not have did anything your ex have done. So it plays out into two different scenarios. But females and men, we're all on the same. We're all on the same playing field. We all experience the same shit. You see what I'm saying? So for the most part, that's how it will play out for us when we know we got it, when we know we're still participating in the energy of the small hex. When we still got a small hex on us. You know what I'm saying? Because you're still in a new relationship, it still might be better, but you're still carrying old traits and shit. Like how I just broke it down for the male and the females. You see what I'm saying? But how to fully get out that shit, right? You need to find something to burn. Now either it has to be something of theirs, something you have of theirs, maybe as a picture, a letter, or a note, clothing, or something like that. A lot of people say use candles. Like candles is just another mechanism of burning. So if you can use a candle, have candles around, that'd be good because it represents burning. Now burning with fire represents transformation. You see what I'm saying? So this land that we on is all elements mixed and mingled. For an example, you can't have something being formulated or transforming or something being created without fire. You can't have that being sustained and it being shapeless and formless to manifest energy out of it without water, without the cooling of the fire. Then you can't have it taking shape and form without time or experience, or without shaping it, or without practicalizing it, or making sense out of it, or holding it and making it gradually take shape. You can't do that without having the information in the air, which is the common sense or the communication aspect put into it. And then once that's done by the amount of time, it becomes the earth element. And then the earth element is when you actually see the shape and form out of it. So all the platforms you see that we're on, what people are calling earth, is really just a formulation of all the elements. And that's why we see things get born, have a lifespan, and then expire. The transformation period, you know what I'm saying? So, for the most part, when we want to talk about fire, fire represents the transformation period. So if you want to transform something or get up out of something or make something disappear, this is why you use fire. And fire is enlightenment. So it goes to the lightest forms of bodies and it gets to scatter. And it gets to, the lighter the body, the more it gets to scatter away from you, because you in a dense body. So the thoughts and ideas and concepts and feelings and emotions you come up with is even dense. Those are even forms, concepts, maybe lighter forms, lighter thought forms and concepts that you can't physically see with the physical manifestation of the eyes, but they're physical in some way, shape, and form. It's part of the energy and light realm. That's what you need to know. Now, for the most part, you need to take your feelings and emotions and your thoughts and all the vibrations you have of this person and put all that energy into that piece of paper that you have of theirs, or something that you have of theirs, or even thought that you have, and then you write a letter to yourself, or even with the candles. The candles is for the thoughts and the concepts and the feelings and emotions that you have. But if some people is not powerful enough like that, so that's why I said if you like lore, then have something to actually burn from theirs, or write a letter to yourself of your thoughts and feelings and emotions that you have of them and burn that. But if you're spiritually strong, like me, or you're a person that's been into this for a while, then you could do this with just candles, and then have your concentrate and focus your thoughts and feelings and emotions that you want to absorb into that fire, and go ahead, and go ahead and meditate on that and focus there. And the more energy, aka the more time and experience you put in that, that's energy work. That's the more better the outcome. You see what I'm saying? So you sit there and boom, let the fire burn, or whatever that's burning, and you put all that feelings and emotions and thoughts that you have of this person and let it go with the fire and let it scatter. Therefore, it plays out as a forgetful thought. You know what I'm saying? So you'll find yourself slowly but surely forgetting about this person more and more. You see what I'm saying? Now, if you're a person that's not spiritually strong and you need something to burn of theirs, that will help you. So every time you think about this person, the first thing you start to think about is what you burnt from them. And then that fire in your mind, and then you going back to that look of what's burning and that day that you did it, it's in your mind again. So that person or whatever, they got that cloud that's coming to you evaporate, because it hits that fire again when you had that thought and feeling about them again. But the first thing you thought about is when you burnt their shit again. So that work in the metaphysic realm like that. That's why I said if you're not spiritually strong, you need something to burn, because you're going to need that thought and idea when you get attacked by them again, because that's how it's going to work for you there. You see what I'm saying? But if you're spiritually strong, then you can just do it with candles and mind, thoughts, and ideas. So therefore, when that person get on your mind or your feelings and emotions again, the first thing that comes is all that energy work you put into manifestation. And that energy work that you put into manifestation play out in a metaphysic realm. That internal fire burns whatever cloud got coming to you. You see what I'm saying? So keep that in mind. It burns that motherfucking shit up. Now, like I said, if you got beef with somebody, now this is not going to actually work, because you just can't actually forget about somebody. You can't actually take a piece of paper or lighting candles, because I mean you can do that, but if you beefing with somebody, you have already participated in a certain amount of energy. You have already gave a certain amount of energy work and a certain amount of light and information to that realm. So you can't just let something go on that you can't handle. You could try to forget about that person all you want. They still thinking about you based upon what you have done to that person, or what they have done to you, or whatever shared experience y'all have with each other to make y'all aggressively want to attack each other. So like I said, if you beefing with somebody, you got to handle that. But as far as just a minor hex being thrown, These are minor ways that you can handle it. You see what I'm saying? Based upon your relationships and things of that nature. Have something to burn from them, or if you spiritually inclined, you can have some candles, and when those candles are burning, take your thoughts and feelings and emotions that you want to evaporate of this person, and then have that go into the fire. Therefore, when you go in your day-to-day life, anytime any hex that this person, or when that cloud return from all that hex information that this person been putting on you, when it comes to you, it burns, it'll attack you and make you think about your ex in some way, shape, or form, and it gets burnt up into the mental energy that you had put into when you was meditating and eradicating that hex in the first place. Because the first thought you're going to have is when you was meditating, it was like, oh, fuck that person. So that's going to manifest slowly but surely to the point that that person just eradicated from your mind. And they completely become a motherfucking ex. Flight boss, bitch, goddamn, air, you know, goddamn, for sure.